I like taking a look at the trends and then also, trying things that are different too. Sometimes things that work, they get a little bit stale.
Yeah.
And then you kind of need to, think outside the box a little bit.
This is Don't Fear Grit with Rob Taormina. Marketing strategies and advertising technologies to help you build a better business.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I got a really great special guest today. We've got an expert in real estate, and we're going to be talking about the current state of the real estate market here on Long Island. With me, let's say hello, Alex, man. Dude,
Hey.
Thank you so much for coming out and
Thank
joining
you very
us.
much, Rob. Having me on.
Yeah, this is a big deal, to be able to have a local real estate guy who really knows his stuff and to educate everyone who's going to be watching this about real estate. I mean, Long Island is a really great representation of real estate in general. So even if people are watching this or listening to it from like a different area of the country, it's really relevant because I feel like if you can make it here on Long Island, man, you can do it anywhere.
You can literally make it anywhere. And actually, I was looking at the numbers just before I left here. And it is so diverse from Nassau County to Suffolk County. Just even on Suffolk County on the North Shore and Suffolk County on the South Shore, there's almost a 80 to 100,000 price differential. So definitely, just like you said, if you can make it here on Long Island, you can make it, in New York City, you can make it in Florida, California. So definitely, this is a great marketplace. Just a little bit of a snapshot.
Cool. Just on the front end of this, we'll do it again on the back end. But for people that are curious about you and they want to sort of just stalk you a little bit, where can they find you online?
So you can find me online on Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn too as well. You should look me up on Instagram, Facebook, and all the social media sites. It's going to be Alexander Creamer at Element.
Alexander Creamer.
Yep. Yeah, they make me use the full name. New York State.
I love it. Yeah. All right, I get compliance, right?
You got to be compliant.
Compliance. All right, so we're going into currently when we're recording this, we're going into the winter market, just sort of leaving fall. Let's talk about it today. What's going on with real estate on Long Island?
So now that we're kind of entering into the fourth quarter, getting into December, getting into a little bit of the holidays, I know that we were kind of just talking about it before, that things are starting to slow down just a smidge. A lot of people call me now and they say, hey, Alex, I'm going to put it off till, January, February. No one's buying now. No one's selling now, which is actually an incorrect statement. Just to even focus in, we're here locally in Smithtown. For the numbers from last month till today, so today is the 22nd, there was 40 houses brand new on the market, 38 pending or under contract, and then about 42 sold in the last month, just in Smithtown. So Smithtown is a rather large town, right?
Okay.
So within the township of Smithtown, there's Nesconset, there's Kings Park.
Yeah.
So I omitted those towns, so we were just focusing in Smithtown. And yeah, so obviously with those numbers, there's still a lot of traction.
That's a big indicator.
Yeah.
So people have this misconception like, oh, in the winter, everything's slow. So there's, don't try to sell your house because there's no buyers. You just disproved it right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, the buyers that are out right now are the most poised to buy. They're not the window shoppers.
Right.
They're not the people that here it is April, May, June. They're walking their dog. It's nice and warm out. Let me go and stroll into this open house. These are the people that are committed to buy and to buy now.
Yeah.
So I like to say is, if you're putting on your house on the market now, December, January, you're kind of getting the kickstart into the spring. So you're kind of getting, what's the word I like to use? Almost like a jump ahead to the spring market.
Sure.
Because there's less competition.
Yep.
So your house is going to be, one of the first ones to be looked at. Right.
Yeah.
So, you see a lot of homes now that are kind of leftovers, as you will, from the spring and the summer.
Yep.
So, those homes, people have seen them, the eyes have been on them a little bit. So if your home is now coming on the market in November, December, now it's kind of the bells ring off now for all those buyers that, hey, I didn't find something in September, October.
Yeah.
Now let's see what these new fresh homes are.
You make a really good point, and there's a whole strategy of like the best time to list your home, or if you own a commercial piece of property. And I agree, and I will always latch on to what you just said there, is if you have a window where the competition pool decreases, the
100%.
reality of it is there are still buyers.
Yeah.
Right? There's still, will there be a percentage of buyers? Maybe will it decrease in the winter? Yeah, but the reality of it, there are still buyers. So if you can enter that market when the competition pool is much less, you still have a greater chance of selling your place.
Absolutely. And I like to tell people too, it's when I sit with a home seller, you're just not in competition with your next door neighbor. You're in competition with the next town over.
Yeah.
You're in the competition with Nassau County. You're in competition with Florida, Carolinas. So you're not just in competition with just the time frame. You're in competition with other homes, whether it be within the state or out of the state.
Yeah.
So that kind of segues into the next statement I was going to make is, hey, you got to definitely price your home right.
Yeah.
Especially now in the current market,
Yep.
you can't jack the price up because again, hey, now your home is going to sit because your price is too high.
Yep.
Now it gets stale. So now if your home is on the market and if it's priced strong, in the right price structure, then hey, a lot of eyes on it, and all you need is just one buyer.
Yeah. No, it's true.
You don't need, and that's what a lot of people say too. I need all these people. No, you don't. You just need one person.
It's true.
It's just like we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Right? All you need is just one person.
It's so true. Like, all right, so for me, I have a little bit of a real estate portfolio, right? And every single one of my properties I started to look at right around this time. And it wasn't even intentional. It's just sort of the nature of like how I've purchased all of my properties. But I've always, for every single one, it was around this time where I started that process. And for me, it worked out. So I literally am proof of what you're saying. I was a buyer who came in a market where they're saying, oh, the winter is soft. Well, you know what? I purchased all of my real estate during that market.
And then, and I like to tell people too, right? If you're finding something that's been, now here it is, December, January, it's gold, right after the holidays. And if you're a buyer, right, if you found something that's been on the market for 1-2 months, look how much more of a negotiation power you have and the other agent has.
Sure.
Right? You know what? Now it's the winter. Your home's been sitting there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Now you're going to come in there and say, hey, 10, 15, 20,000 under ask.
Yes.
Now it's a little bit more realistic.
Yeah. I do. I think it benefits both the buyer and the seller, where like you're saying that you could use it as a negotiating tactic on the end of the buyer saying, hey, it's been on there for a little bit and negotiate a lower price. The fact is it's still a motivated buyer.
Oh yeah.
Right. So why is the seller putting their place in the market? They want to sell it. Right. And having it stay on the market for another 6, 7, 8 a year. Right. Yeah. Think of how much money that person's losing. This is a piece of math I think most people don't understand.
No, actually, you brought up a good point there, Rob. It's if taxes, especially here in Smithtown.
Right.
I got a guy right now, and I won't tell the address, but I got a guy. He's easily 75 to 100,000 overpriced, and both Anna and myself, Anna's partner that I work with. We've sat him down numerous times and says, hey man, let's just try to drop this, 25, 50,000. Let's get a little bit more realistic. Let's actually get inside the stadium, the stands here. You're in the parking lot right now. And, he's stuck on his price. So he's an unmotivated seller.
Yeah.
So he's only going to move if he gets that price. And again, if you look at it from a logistics side point, his taxes are $24,000 a year. That is $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
$2,000 a month. You're just
by the way, so
away.
for all of our viewers that live in out of New York, that is like an incredible amount.
Oh yeah.
Because like I have a property in Pennsylvania where my property taxes are about $1,800 a year. And the property taxes here that are 24, 25, 30,000, it's like a world of a difference.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's real, right? Like these are real numbers.
And we're just talking about Nessequag. Yeah, and those numbers out there are much realistic. In Smithtown, taxes can go anywhere between 8 to 12, 8 to 15. But hey, some smaller lots are 5,000, but definitely not like what we see in out of state. Hey, I got an aunt and uncle down in Florida, paying like $1,500.
Right.
It's a a no-brainer for people that want to move out here.
Yes.
But like I say too, is to buyers that come to my open houses and they say, hey, well, we've been thinking about the Carolinas, we've been thinking about the moving down to Florida. There is a lot of benefits with Long Island. One is the housing appreciation.
Sure.
And then 2 is, jobs.
Yeah.
It is pretty much
it's all relative too. So like these prices, the property taxes in other areas that are much, much lower, it's also indicative of that area. The cost of living is much, much lower, which means your average salaries are much lower. So it really is relative. That's another thing is people like, it's so expensive on Long Island, I'm going to move. I'm going to move to, pick a state.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to move to Idaho.
All right,
Great.
Go ahead. Move to Idaho, right? And you're going to make 50% less, and your property taxes are going to be 50% less as well. So you're not saving anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you have nothing to eat because there's nothing to eat there.
Exactly. But back to what we were saying before is about this math component to real estate that I really think that most people neglect is like that seller who's like, oh, I'm going to hold out for top dollar. That person can actually make more if they take a little bit less.
Absolutely.
on the front end versus waiting 9 months.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they're losing all that money. They're sitting on the expense of that place for 9 months.
Exactly. And it's, how much, I even said this with my seller that we were just talking about just before, the 24K taxes. I asked him, I said, how much do you value your time?
Right.
Really?
Great point.
Do you value your time as, hey, I want to move out, let me go to Florida, let me go here. And that's where, in this profession too, you have to ask that question. You have to ask, hey, do you have a plan B? Do you have a plan C if you don't sell this home?
Yeah.
And if they say, well, our plan B is if we don't get that 800,000 or that 900,000, we're just going to sit tight.
Yeah.
And for us in that or in our industry, real estate says, all right, maybe it's a little bit of a red flag. This guy, he's stuck on that price. Let's see if we can get him that price, because definitely, selling a home, it's not just all about price. It's how you can promote it, how you can put that house in the best light possible, and that also does drive up the price.
Yeah.
It's also segues into staging homes. A big thing now on Long Island is new construction. A lot of us real estate agents are doing is we're getting land listings, and then we're pairing up with the builder. The builder will get plans through the town. So now you can put that online, Zillow, MLS, wherever, and now it says, okay, hey, we got this lot size, this quarter-acre lot or half-acre lot, and now, hey, we already have plans for this home.
You've done all the work.
Done all the work.
Wow.
Hey, just give me the money, and then they can build a home for you just like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
No, definitely. So, seeing transitions there where, hey, even towns now are realizing that they need to change zoning laws and things like that to make things a little bit less difficult, especially like Smithtown. A town like Smithtown, they're starting to see is, hey,
encouraging growth.
Yes. 100%. And actually I was just speaking to my manager right up the block here, and we were talking about the change in the industry, and a big thing we're seeing now is that they're trying to accommodate millennial buyers. A huge thing, right? So Patchogue, I'm not sure if you've ever been down on the South Shore. A town there 10, 15 years ago where it really wasn't a big influx of people.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go down to the town to eat, have a drink. Now
it's flourishing.
Yeah. Crazy. I know 3, 4, 5 people that, are moving there just because, hey, they want to be close to the town. They work in the city. They like that city atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of produces. Yeah. And it's affordable.
Yeah. I think that's great. Like Patchogue was an area, there was a certain period of time where it's like you drive through there, lock your doors. Yeah. But what made a difference is the town got behind it. Entrepreneurs came in,
absolutely,
and revitalized the whole town. And now it's flourishing. I've been down there with my wife. We love going down there. It's a great community.
Oh yeah, the New Village Apartments. So actually, I know a couple of buddies that live there, and there's about 650 units there. Wow. So that's not even including like, hey, they have one, 2, and 3 bedroom units. So that's 650 units is total, of a mix.
Yeah.
But that alone, is just incredible. So towns are now seeing the Patchogue model, and what they're trying to do is saying, hey, let's do a little R&D. Yep. It's not research and development. It's, hey, let's rip off and duplicate this.
Sure.
Because it's working. This model's working.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
Do it.
And hey, they're putting the Smithtown to shame.
Yeah. It's true.
Because
it's true.
Hey, a couple of years ago, hey, they put out Croxies, they put out Nappers, and there was a bunch of young people there. But now it's kind of trickling down a little bit. So
they had momentum.
Yep.
I know it trickled a little bit. But I'm hearing some decent things. I know we got a new guy who's in charge now of the Smithtown area.
Yes, Vecchio's out.
Yeah.
And definitely they just broke ground on the Smithtown apartments.
I saw that.
Yeah. So I've heard some things about that. Is that, hey, is it really going to go to fruition?
Yeah.
Or is it kind of being a little bit stalled? Yeah. But hey, in time will tell.
Yeah. I mean, it boils down to teamwork, right?
Of course.
You've got both local government teaming up with local entrepreneurs to really just commit to making a big difference.
100%.
That's what happened in locally. Here we have that community that he's talking about in Patchogue, and then the community where we are in Smithtown. It's actually a really great community. It's a wonderful place, and that they could just do a little bit of a better job.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think they will.
No, 100%.
I really do.
Because you have so many people here. The schools are great.
Yes.
The town, just like you said, is great.
Yeah.
But when you're going down Main Street and you see in businesses that have only been in operation for 6-8 months and they're closing up shop.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a little bit of a worry. So I think definitely, just like you said, the municipality stand behind it. They need to kind of come together. Hey, how can we change this?
Yeah.
Because definitely, like the Patchogue model,
it is. Don't be content with the little taste of success you have in a moment.
Yep.
Always be looking ahead. How can we improve things? And I think Patchogue is a great example of that. Hopefully our own community here does it. I think they will.
That brings it back to, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ronkonkoma, the hub.
Oh yeah.
Now, homes in Ronkonkoma, a lot of people, of course, you're going to see people skip out. Life gets in the way. They retire. They want to move closer to family. But a lot of people from Ronkonkoma, they're staying put because they know, hey, 1, 2, 3 years, this hub is coming up, and now it's just going to be a big influx of people.
Yeah.
People are going to want to move there.
Yeah.
So now, hey, let me sell my house in 2, 3 years when, market's up.
Yep.
And there's a big demand of people.
Yeah. I think the real estate market on Long Island is so healthy right now. And
no, it is.
It really is. And one of the big indications, and I want to highlight what you said, construction. You look around and there are projects going on. That's a big indicator because people now are pouring money into Long Island. It's a big
Absolutely.
deal.
And it's not even just, because a lot of people, because I'm a little bit on the younger side, right? I'm classified millennials if I like it or not. But they're doing more construction also for senior citizens.
Yeah.
They have to,
Of course.
If the senior citizens leave, then that's a great part of the economy too.
Yep.
So they're even turning old schools and daycares and you name it into, senior citizen centers.
Yep.
And that's a great thing because, hey, that keeps the economy here.
Yep.
That keeps families here too as well. If, mom and dad leaves, hey, I want to be closer to mom and dad. So it's definitely a great thing that they're doing there.
Yeah. Now, we talked about, the buying market, the seller's market. Let's talk about the renter's market.
Yeah,
I know we were just talking about that before, and I really want you to educate because you actually had an amazing point that I think if more people were aware of this opportunity, you see more people enter that game. So why don't you share a little bit?
So with the rental market, and I'll even give a little bit of a tidbit. A lot of agents on Long Island, they don't dabble in the rental market just because, hey, a lot of agents, frankly, they don't like playing by the rules. You can get in a hell of a lot more trouble doing a rental than you can selling a house. And that, just to try to wrap your head around that, it takes 1 or 2 moments. Hey, I can sell a $5, $6, or $1 million home, but I can rent a $1,200 one-bedroom apartment, and I can get fined greater for that. And it's true because, the rental market on Long Island, there's great opportunity there because there's not much inventory. We were just talking about in Smithtown, Nesconset, and Kings Park, some local communities around here. Anything greater than a 2-bedroom home, so something like a full house rental, there's only 4 to 6 options.
There's a lot of buyers.
But there's
renters,
yeah. So possible tenants.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about a rental listing I had in Nesconset right off 347 here. It was a beautiful home. It was a 4-bedroom, 2-bath.
Yeah.
And off Zillow, within pretty much 48 to 72 hours, I had almost 100 hits.
Wow.
That's 100
incredible.
people calling me and saying, hey, let me get into this house. Let me, let me take a look. Let me see if this is going to be the right fit. But that also segues into the new tenant laws that they did.
Yeah.
So they actually enacted some new laws back in June to try to protect tenants in a little bit.
Yes.
Because landlords, hey, they were taking advantage.
Sure.
Which, it happens.
Yep.
So now with the new tenant laws we're seeing is landlords are wanting a little bit more of, not a demand, but of requirements to get into the home, such as credit scores a little bit higher, income being a little bit higher, just to make sure that, hey, they can protect their asset.
Yeah.
But still, there's a ton of people out there that are trying to find a rental home that are someone like myself, in that age group. Hey, we're trying to rent with, fiance or friends or family, whatever it is. Yeah, there's a great opportunity there.
This is the classic case of supply and demand.
Yes.
There's not a lot of inventory, low supply, huge demand.
Yep.
So the places that do come on the market, they get eaten up.
Snatched right
quick.
away. Oh, yeah.
So that's a good piece of information for 2 people. Investors, you know this about Long Island right now.
Because and I've been trying to get my brother into some investment properties because I'm like, hey man, you gotta think about your future. Listen, you're not gonna be staying at mom and dad's house forever.
Right.
You can get. There's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath that just came up right here in Smithtown over by the high school.
Yeah.
And it's for sale for $290. Needs a little bit of work.
Okay.
To $290,000. Needs a little bit of work.
For this area, that's really cheap.
For this area,
really cheap.
That's like calling all shoppers.
Yes.
Get on it now.
Yeah.
So for that type of home, a 2-bedroom 1 or 2-bedroom 2-bath, you can rent that out for $2,600 a month. Easy.
Wow.
Easy. So, and $2,600 now. Next year you're gonna raise it up to $2,700.
Right.
The year after that, hey, let's raise it up to $2,750.
Yeah.
So it's gonna continue to raise your rent.
Yes.
And then, hey, that's going to be your investment property. You're going to hold that on for 10, 15 years,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it just continues to pay for itself.
You said it was 220,000?
290,000.
290,000. So you got to figure that's probably going to be roughly mortgage plus property taxes. You're probably
Property
looking,
taxes are on there with $5,000.
Okay.
So
So you're looking at like a $2,000 probably per month note,
Yep.
right?
Just
And-
about
Right, and then you can put it on the market, and you can put it on the market for $2,600.
$2,600.
Buy it, so overnight you can make $600 a month.
$600 a month.
That's an amazing investment property.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, where do I sign? Where do I?
All right, well, once you get right off this, let's go and check it out.
Wow,
you know?
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Sorry, so I want to go there for a second because I didn't even realize that opportunities like that for the investment market is
yeah.
still here on Long
absolutely
Island.
100%.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and that's the
amazing.
thing. It's not perception is that a lot of young guys or young people, millennials, is that
Yeah.
hey, they're skipping shop,
Right.
But that's wrong because right. Let's name up a couple colleges: Stony Brook University,
Yes.
Long Island Post, Farmingdale.
Huge.
All those. There's a lot of people that are just coming to those schools from out of state.
Yes.
And they need housing.
Right.
Right. So right around Stony Brook, crazy.
It's exploding over
exploding.
there.
It definitely.
Yeah.
There's a huge population from Queens, and and what they do is because I went to school there, they literally come in on Sunday night, they stay in their house, and then they're there till either Thursday or Friday, and then they go home.
Yeah.
So there's need for housing there.
Wow.
Outside of obviously the
Yeah.
in-house schooling.
Yeah.
Housing.
So there's a lot of opportunities on Long
Oh, yeah.
Island. Whether you're an investor, whether you're looking to move your house and just sell it, whether you're a buyer, whether you're a renter, maybe you want to move from the city to the suburbs here. There's a lot. Long Island has a lot of opportunities.
And that's where people ask me, how's the market? I can just say, oh, it's good, but then I look like a schmuck. But so that's why I usually ask people, hey, well, what are you interested in?
Yeah.
Are you interested in buying? Are you interested in selling?
Yeah.
Investing? Are you interested in renting?
It's
Because
true.
every single
Yes.
market or niche is different.
Right.
Every one has little functions to it.
The reality, the easy answer to that question is there are opportunities for whatever it is that you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Long Island has a ton of opportunities.
100%.
What was that stat? Like how many properties just in Smithtown alone?
Yeah. So going back a month, in Smithtown alone right now, we're looking just about 120 available.
Wow.
And that's just in Smithtown,
Okay.
right? So if we're going to go into Kings Park and
Yeah,
Wisconsin,
yeah.
that's going to
That's a healthy supply.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, for right now, the healthy supply of a housing inventory is anywhere between 6 to 8 months. So meaning it would take anywhere between 6 to 8 months to fully sell out of that supply.
Got it.
We're sitting about 4.5.
Okay.
So we're just a
Yeah.
little bit low,
I
but it's
gotcha.
definitely trickling up.
Yeah. And these properties are moving though.
Yeah, the properties are moving. The
Yeah.
properties again. The properties that are putting on the market at the correct price.
Yep.
It doesn't even have to be that the condition is spot on, but it just has to be that the price reflects the property.
Sure.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's still appreciation.
Yeah.
And a good way to kind of segue into this is everybody now. A lot of phone calls I've been getting is an impending recession, right? It's been kind of on the headlines lately is that, hey, stock market, not crashing, but stock market's kind of been going down. It's been going up. So there's been a little bit of a trickle down that's saying, hey, sellers, I was thinking about selling in January, February. You know what? We're going to wait until 2020 is over.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately is wrong because now the news is kind of creating or, controlling the narrative.
Yeah.
So recession does not equal a housing crisis.
Yes.
So, and that's what kind of a big thing for me today. I was like, hey, I want to
Yeah.
push that across is that, recession does not equal a housing crisis.
No.
A recession is, and I've been kind of taking that word and replacing it with an economic slowdown.
Sure.
So a recession is just an economic slowdown of 2 or more quarters. That's all it is. It's not a Great Depression.
Yeah.
And again, the last 6 recessions that we've had,
Yeah.
obviously in 2008, there was a depreciation of about 19-20%. So,
Sure.
hey, that's a big number.
Yeah.
But before that, in 2001,
Yeah.
there was an appreciation level of 6.5%.
Right.
So before that, 1991, there was a little bit of a dip.
Yeah.
But long story short, out of the last 5 recessions that we had,
Yeah.
3 out of the 5 house pricing actually went up. And
right.
then the one that it went down in 1991, it was only down by
Yeah.
about 1.5-2%.
Yeah.
So out of really the 5,
Yeah.
only one was
Yeah.
it hit hard.
Even as most people have short-term memory, so they only remember like what just happened to them. So they could have experienced like a tremendous amount of success. Like let's say someone invested $10, right? And over 10 years it turned into 100, right? But then 1 month, all of a sudden the market goes down and they lose, and now they're down to $80. And they're like, oh my gosh, I lost so much money. It's like, wait a minute. You only put in $10 10 years ago. It's still at 80.
Yeah.
But people have a short-term memory. They're just looking at that $20 they lost maybe last month.
And that's the thing too. It kind of segues into another good statement here. Right after 2008, historically appreciation levels in the United States, we're kind of going a little bit broad.
Yeah.
In the United States is anywhere between 3.5% to 5% year over year. After the recession or after the housing crisis in 2008, we were seeing numbers 8, 10, 12%.
Yeah.
That is astronomical. And that's not healthy for anybody.
Right.
So, now that we're seeing the housing market stabilize, and then now everybody in our industries, hey, we're waving flags, that's good. Everybody now that's homeowner, they're used to, for the last 5-6 years, getting those appreciation levels 6, 7, 8%.
Yeah.
Well, this must mean that we're in a housing crisis if it's slowing down.
Right.
Which is incorrect.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
Right.
So, for us in this industry, we're kind of in the forefront. We need to change that narrative from, hey, this is going to be an impending recession. Recession equals a housing crisis. No, let's take a step back. That's not really what that means.
Gotcha. 2 more questions for you.
Yeah, sure.
And I appreciate you being here a little bit longer than we originally said.
Man.
I really appreciate your expertise and all this stuff. This is a big deal. So, first question will be easy. I
like easy questions.
What book do you recommend people read? It could be Dr. Seuss, or it could be something crazy. It doesn't matter. What's a book you like?
So actually, when I first started, there's a guy he's actually local on Long Island. He's actually out in the South Shore. His name is Daryl Davis.
Okay.
It's How to Become a Power Agent. So that's, for somebody that's thinking about becoming a real estate agent or thinking about even just getting within the industry, take a look at that book. It's, again, Daryl Davis, How to Become a Power Agent. And it kind of goes, the first half of that first half of the book is kind of, hey, what the industry is like, what you should expect. And hey, the big thing is you shouldn't expect that your first 3 months you're going to be getting $10,000, $15,000 checks, because that's not really how this industry works. And the other half is, hey, this industry is not like a 9-to-5 where just like yourself. If you're an entrepreneur, you need to wake up every morning and have some sort of self-driven, motivation.
Exactly.
So that other half of the book is, definitely a kind of a little bit of a schedule and kind of gets you into that mind state. All right, maybe this is what I got to do.
Yep.
This is maybe the correct amount of days I should have off, or where I should have my downtime. Because that's a thing that I struggled with, starting on was. I lost a lot of girlfriends that way, but no, it was 7 days a week, 24/7. I got to get my name out there.
Sure.
And, unfortunately, that's kind of how you get unmotivated and you kind of get off the grind.
You got to be committed to what you're doing.
Of course.
Without a doubt. I mean, you seem like someone who works really, really hard, but you're also a progressive. You've got access to technology, So what, not that I'm like, criticizing other agents. I know we've got a lot of real estate agents that might be watching this, so nothing critical of them. But like, what differentiates maybe your process from maybe someone else?
And and that's the thing too. And I mean to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
But so the National Association of Realtors, there's 1.3 million of us in the country.
Wow.
So 1.3 million.
Wow.
But only.
That's quite the fraternity.
Oh yeah, it's a big fraternity. But only really, I think it's about, the statistic is 40,000. So I think it's about 3 to 5% of us actually do more than 25 sales a year.
Wow.
So out of that 1.3 million, really a majority of the agents, 1, 2, 3 sales. Hey, I'm helping my brother. I'm doing some investment. So for me, I'm definitely more of a full-time hands-on realtor.
Yeah.
And then also, hey, I do like to use social media. And then I graduated from Stony Brook University. So I'm more of a business background, more of an analytical background. And then also I have more of a marketing skills too. So for me, it's, hey, I like taking a look at the trends, and then also, trying things that are different too. Sometimes things that work, they get a little bit stale. And then you kind of need to, think outside the box a little bit.
Awesome. I'm going to put you on the spot. So if anyone has any questions with regards to real estate, do you mind them reaching out to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
100%.
All right. Tell them one more time where they can find you.
So you can find me, you can either text me on my cell, even give you my number here. You can text or call me on my cell, 631-848-1424, or you can find me online pretty much at any social media site, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Again, you can find me. It's my full name, right? New York State compliance. Alexander. Last name is Creamer, Creamer. and then at Douglas Elliman.
Awesome, man. Listen, I really appreciate you being so transparent and accessible to everyone. You're an expert. You know your stuff. Clearly, you're like a real estate scientist. You know?
Hey, man, we try. It's definitely, like you said, it's a progressive process. Hey, every single day I try to learn something new.
Sweet, man. Listen, honestly, thank you so much again for coming out.
Thanks
This
for
has
having
been
me.
a pleasure having you. You shared your knowledge. You just dumped a lot of good golden nuggets on there.
Hey,
So
hopefully somebody
can
can take that and run with it.
Without a doubt, guys. Listen to this guy. Follow him. He knows his stuff. Thanks again for tuning into this episode of Don't Fear Grit. Remember, guys, don't fear the process. Don't fear the hard work. Your success is right around the corner if you're willing to work for it. Take care, guys.